video for you that happened earlier yesterday or today. I got around 4 hours of sleep, and so I got in a short trade yesterday, right 15 hours ago, right here on the lower time frames. We were having a bearish crossover. Right here, I believe I entered right here, and on the 13-hour, it was showing, and 3-hour, it was showing some signs of toppy. I was looking at some, possible a slowdown in a histogram, RSI coming back down a little bit. So it all looked pretty bearish to me. Still does. I wanted to hold. So here's my. I wanted to hold, and I still do. But I made a mistake, and also 13-hour. I'm taking a look at this candle here, fat candle, on volume. Lots of energy going into this candle, but it's a bearish candle. Well, potentially bearish, as long as we can break the moving averages. But it could also be a bullish sign. It just really depends. Like, are they selling at this level? And I do believe so. I do believe they are, and I think that this is one of the best prices that they can do. They can do for it. If we actually open up the monthly, though, I was looking at my phone, and it looks like pretty interesting and possibly bullish. I mean, we've got the moving averages all the way at 56. But if it does pull back, right, and it could be like some type of double bottom that we've been waiting for a long time, even on VET, that I've seen that pattern in a while on VET right here, boom, boom. But as you can see, we failed last time on VET. So I'm wondering if it's going to be the same deal. Now VET's got a triple bottom, whereas and it has a bullish divergence on that monthly RSI, whereas Cardano only has a double bottom, and I wonder if triple bottoms or double bottoms are better. I would like to see some lower prices than that. Look at this chart here, the 21s for Bitcoin. Anyways, it looks really good. Cardano doesn't look that good, but on Bitcoin it's like to perfection. Again, toppy candle, pullback, supporting on the moving averages, and lots of energy volume here, Are the bulls going to give up? And that would be a big kind of, you would know they're probably going to support this one as well, but you would know if they are all out. This volume average probably will be a high sell. Like, we're gonna need to see a high sell volume to tell you that all those bulls were liquidated or whatever it is. I'm looking at this pattern as a distribution pattern, a possible distribution top. And yeah, so my mistake was if you go on the 3-minute time frame, I got in big time because of the 55 chart was showing me some bearish divergences on the RSI, right? So again, it was about 15 hours ago. Literally right here, I saw this candle, I was bearish, and then we started making some profits right here. I kept adding. Right here, that was a good add. But then I also added, I believe I might have added a little bit too low. Um, and then I did something else. I was watching a video, so I took a look at that, double top on the RSI and higher high. So I said okay, and also with the MACD down ticking. This is a good sign for me as well. I'm still in the short, by the way. And here's the reason, my mistake. I had a limit order right here, set at 67, so right here, and I didn't get filled. I mean, I canceled it because I thought we were going to really start to go down. So when it comes to taking profits, it's important to follow the signals that you're given on the specific time frame. So, for example, if you see a bearish divergence on the 55, aim for the target, right? And keep that target. So pretty much I missed out on I think 3 to 4%, and right now we're actually at pretty much a break even, or actually a little bit of a loss because I started adding more downs down. So I'm saying that it's more profitable if you would have taken your profits, right? I mean, it went up 5% straight up after. So, and to getting into the psychological and aspect of it, what happened here was that we got a stop hunt, which was, well, here was the first one, but right below that low there was a big stop hunt. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then bang. So A, B, C possibly. And then right now we're getting like a double top price action. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. We got double top also on the RSI. And the question is, has this move played out yet? So let's go to the 13. Um, it depends where you're getting your signal, right? So it's always important to be cautious or be um, having an intent to take profits on a given time frame. So I'm taking a look at the 55 in a bit, in a sec, and also the 5 hour is showing that it might. So whatever time frame you use, that's gonna be the same time frame that you should be taking taking your profits on, right? So, for example, if I'm anticipating a bearish crossover on this time frame, 13, I have error here, so I have to find another reason to enter. But what about on the long side? I guess you take a Fibonacci extension of some sort, right? So yeah, I pretty much wasted a good trade, and I didn't take profits um, here, right here on the moving average. That's moving upwards because of the bearish divergence, bearish crossover. Those were the reasons that I entered. Bearish candle here, losing momentum, crossovers on the lower time frames, uh, price below price below the moving averages. So I was expecting and anticipating a larger dump on the 13 hours, and I still am anticipating that, which means that I guess my target should be about 80, which is going to be like my goal for this trade was to make like 10% at least. So you have to really define what kind of trader that you're going to be and what time frame you're going to use in order to start taking some profits. As you can see, the bulls are really defending this moving average here, quite obviously, and and we're starting to see some type of selling or some high volume bars. Okay, um, some buying and some selling, some defending of this moving average all the way at 86.40. If we can get below that, then my target would be this one here. Um, Maybe the 5 hour is more comfortable, where you would actually hit the moving average. But it's all about a matter of preference. Look, right here, it looks like we might have gotten a double top. If I measure the move, yeah, that could be a potential double top. The confirmation of that would be a break below this, but then you would also have some support at that time, probably on this moving average. So it's a little bit of an iffy trade, um, and probably some more support right here uh, into this consolidation, maybe all the way down here. So that would be your 20% trade that you're kind of looking for. MACD kind of looks like a double crossover. Right now it's June 5th. The day just opened. Double top in the MACD as well. And so a little bit of bearish pressure on the 5 hour. The 8 hour chart, we got a three-wave move. The only thing I don't like, this is not a leading diagonal because pushing upwards as we are doing, or are we going to start to fall? This candle just opened, so um, if this is the bottom, there you go, right? If this is the bottom, then is it right? So I'm expecting that if we break the moving average right here at 855 on this time frame, we're going to challenge this line and challenge this range. I would probably take profit right here on that moving average. So anywhere within this range would be a decent buy. Um, below that moving average, I would be a little bit iffy. I'd be a little bit iffy on it, and then I would probably set myself up for another trade because within the next couple of days, I think that the market can probably move down 35%, but that's just what I think, and it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. I mean, we're in a very strong uptrend, and I'm not saying maybe 35%, maybe 15, but I do think that we're in due for a correction, and a possible battle between the bulls and the bears, simply because of this volume that we're seeing here. Some high sells, okay, but it is getting picked up. It is getting picked up in this zone. So if we do break this either side, we are probably going to start seeing some decent price action, some decent movements to the up or downside. That's what volume's all about. It's like a spring, right? And the more time it takes to consolidate, the more energy it develops here, then the bigger the reaction is going to be, right? So it's just how the charts work. If we take a look at this consolidation here, this was all like consolidation, right? So when we broke it to the upside, and that's where the shorts and longs started pushing up the prices. Now we're kind of at a spot where we're again consolidating, but all these guys who are long now, because if these shorts were short and they switch their position, they're long, probably from here they're in profit, they're going to want to take their profit for break even, and these guys that pushed up the prices even more are definitely going to want to take the profit, so they have stop losses in place, and that's why we're getting some big moves here, I believe, because they have trailing stop losses, and the question is, where's their next trailing stop loss, right? Where's their next trailing stop loss? So if we go to the higher time frames here, last but not least, the bulls defended the 3-day charts. I was watching that definitely, but this is also a reason why I entered my trade. And you see, obviously, another mistake that I made is because I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to these time frames, which is kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing. Also, the bulls are defending this, but if you are going to need a target with a 55 minute, that's the big reason why I entered the trade, was because of that bearish divergence, double top below the moving averages on very short time frames. So my target should have been on the short time frame as well, not the big time frame. If I expect to take profit just like that, so which I think would have been more profitable, because I could be entering again at some better prices here. At some better prices. Would I be in a trade right now? Would I enter the trade? Well, let's see what we got. We've got a potential double top here on the 55-minute chart. We have some, down sloping RSIs, and this is for reference sake. MACD is starting to slope downwards on the 55. Okay, let's go to the 13-minute. 13-minute is in a consolidation zone, as well as the price is in a consolidation zone. The moving averages are flat, which makes it susceptible on this time frame anyways to either go up or down. I wouldn't necessarily use that time frame right now, but yeah, so the prices are just pretty much getting whipsawed. It's not very reliable on the bear counts. Now if I take a look at the bull count and the total count real quick for reference sake, like for what this thing's supposed to do or intended on doing, we would look at this as a resistance for the next couple days here. We have this line that is, so what's going to be your stop, and your time stop is about 2% from here. And this here is also going to be kind of a pivotal point, pivotal moment for the trend. And in my opinion, just like that's what I do for TA on those smaller time frames, even larger time frames, right? It's just that's what happens. So if I take a trade off of this trade, because let's say that there was a divergence and I'm expecting that the RSI is going to break down here, it's got that trend line as well that is getting defended, but let's say it breaks down, which it is, slowly but surely, expectation of having a crossover, a bearish crossover, and you see how this moving average is getting tighter. That's just another more bearish signal, and would be nice to get a little bit tighter contraction, like at this time here. Bitcoin is going to moon. You guys watch that video? Search it up. It's funny. So here's the 5-minute chart. We might be a little bit too consolidated for this chart, but it's definitely a volatile one for right now. The bulls are still supporting the 5-minute chart. I wouldn't necessarily use it right now though. So the MACD, just for reference sake, we're bouncing at this zone, but I would use this chart here and also the 21-minute for the bull cycles, just because it gives you a better perspective, in my opinion, for this. Okay, and that would I got a little bit of clutteredness on this chart. Gotta clean it up here. Bitcoin is going to moon. I'll do that on my own time. So the question is, are we going to get a bearish crossover? You know what I mean? Bearish crossover and start to target this here. If I take the trade on this one, if that's my expectation, then I should target right here. So that would be 8-0. And that could make sense, right, for A, B, C, just like an A, B, C. Once again, so that would be a larger A, B, C. And let's just check real quick if it's gonna be EE. So it's not the 61.8, which would make it even more bearish. If we break this moving average, in my opinion, we might bounce and then come back into that zone. But guys, if you check that 5-hour, like these charts here are probably the more interesting ones, because you see where the real psychology of the market, the bulls and the bears are defending, and the bulls are so definitely defending this chart here that it's very obvious that I believe that if we start closing below some moving averages here, it will be done at the end of the trend, and that's for the video's sake. And I don't want to see some of this, because I don't want to just see stop losses, uh, get hit, trailing stop losses, whatever. But I want to see an actual like downwards move where there's no more buying, there's no more accumulation, there's no more absorption of of this uh, selling. That's what we have to see. Like this right here, that's absorbed. So whichever way we go, either up or down, this is going to like there's a lot of energy in this candle. So definitely like your target could be potentially maybe on the 3 hour here because that's a little bit low. Uh, but yeah, your target could literally be right here, so at about 8-0 for a shorter term dash swing trade. So I've been in this trade for about 15 hours now, and I do expect to make some profit off of it. And yeah, I mean this white line is also interesting, and seems like also yeah double crossover on the MACD with the same type of signal that we got on the 55 is here on the 8 hour, which is a good sign, which means that we should target all the way down here, which would be 73, 73, and I would like to target all the way down here, but that one's low. That's all the way at 56, but it has been there before, but I do think that we do have to travel up here a little bit more with time on that EMA. So maybe your target would be here eventually, but your first target could be right here, and then sell it back higher. That's what I should have did. I should have taken a trade on the. So also you take a look at the 3 day and the 5 day, and the bulls are defending this level. This is Bitcoin. Um, so the bulls are buying up, pretty much trying to trend it up here on this moving average. We have 4 days left to close on this one, and I was bearish because of this candle right here. This is the 5 day chart, right? So 4 more days to close, and I mean, so when I was talking about the volume there in the group, and when you see big volume in here like this, it just tells you like there's a lot happening in this candle. Like there's a lot of energy. Same thing here. There's a lot of energy. So a lot of buying and selling. So whichever way it breaks, either up or down. Right now we're pointing up on all the moving averages, which is kind of telling you that it's still bullish. It's a bullish trend. Um, but there's resistance. There's some selling. So depending on who's accumulating this and how much cash they actually have, depending on if these are shorts just closing their positions or whatever it is, if they have more ammunition, and we're talking about probably billions of dollars here to push the market up on these moving averages, then you'll see some higher prices. But until we can make a decision. Like for example, if we break this moving average, I think it's a relatively safe short. This one here, because look, we've defended this. We have 3 more days, and this is going to be the candle, right? So this is the candle I was also looking at. I was bearish on this candle here, just like this, right? And guys, it's getting tighter, which is even more bearish. The more time it takes for us to decide, it's where people start to give up. It's where resistance starts to build, and just a loss of hope pretty much starts to develop in these traders. So, um, I mean, I can see the next support being at 497. Let's call it 9500. And but yeah, this to me this is kind of looking a little bit like a distribution. Someone mentioned in the group though, all the way at 4K right here, I think. But the difference was in this play here was that this was an accumulation pattern where this is a positive distribution pattern. This is where they were buying or a bottom of a trend. This is more of the top of the trend, in my opinion. So the same kind of deal here. We were going downwards with the moving average, downwards, bears pushing down the prices. There's probably a better example in the three with the different color, the red EMAs. But anyways, As the price goes up here, you can see that the bull's pushing up the prices, pushing up the prices. This was a key level at a squeeze. Okay, for a squeeze, the same kind of idea with the volume, a lot of energy. There's going to be a breakout to upside or to the downside, but the squeeze, and considering that we were already on a downside, the probabilities would be higher that we break up, because if everyone's on the same side of the market, then the probabilities are definitely higher that the next move is to get out or to to break it up. So as soon as we got above those moving averages, that was your kind of telltale sign to get ready, and then they started trending the market all the way up here. Okay, follow that moving average. Look, we broke below. That was your indication to start selling. We probably had a divergence here, a little bit of a divergence. We definitely got a bearish crossover a couple days later. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. This wick is a little bit different, right? We haven't really seen this price action, so maybe we do get another wave upwards here to challenge, I don't know, like the 17 area, right? Or this trend line at least. There's a trend line right here, and that could happen. But if we break that trend line, that's probably what the bulls are fighting for, right? So again, we're still getting kind of pushed up. This is small or tight price action, and this is what the bulls are going to be defending as well. My bad, the bears are going to be defending this right here, and the bulls could be possibly taking profits on this idea right here. Don't know what's going on here. Bitcoin is going to moon. So, I mean, it could just be a bullish strategy when you really think about what the market makers in the mind is doing. A bullish strategy to push down the prices and reaccumulate lower just in these moving averages to try to get a breakout here. So if I actually move to the next 5-day candle, this is the wick, and this is where I would consider that we might have actually broken out. And if we start to break below it, which is right here, I would probably say GTFO out of all of your trades on the bull side, and reassess later. Probably for we're probably going to be looking for at that point. We're probably going to be looking for um, an accumulation pattern, like a channel accumulation pattern, a little bit lower. So that would be your stop loss for the larger term, and your reaccumulation is moving up with time, but it's pretty much going to be right around here for those bulls, right above that, which I like. It's trending upwards, right above that place right here, which would make a higher low. Now, if you think about the market makers, like, what do you think they want to do? They more than likely want to accumulate more at 4,000. So it would be pretty nice if they are smart, if they would be a little bit more patient and push the market downwards, sell their bags, and make sure that this thing goes down. So that, but we are right here at the pivotal point. We're still above the high volume there on the right side. Quick analysis, came back down, retested it, and usually that defines a trend as well. It got the low right on the dot here for that, but it does change. So maybe Bitcoin is going to moon eventually. So there's like a $6,000 target for that volume profile, and we'll see. So it is getting supported right now, and again on these moving averages pointing upwards, and yeah. So this chart here is interesting as well, and so yeah, that was my big mistake right here on 55 and not taking my profit like I should have right here, as I expected that the bullish divergence, it played out, right? It played out. I went at 40. We crossed over. What I thought was going to happen happened. We got these people got stopped out, right? The longs got stopped out, whatever, and then it came right back up. So it's getting choppy, right? We're getting a lot of stop loss orders in place and everything like that. So I should have I've been more considerate to coming back up and testing the top, and I should have taken my profit at about 5%. It would have been a very nice profit. So that's my mistake. And to summarize it, it's to use to use your time frame to trade on the time frame that you're looking at. Not necessarily combine them all, but also kind of combine them all at the same time just to get more signals. Um, but let's say you see a divergence on one time frame, aim for that time frame's moving average if you're in a short and you're trading against the trend. So definitely do that, right?